In the last 8 years of my trading journey, I have tried everything. Like a lot of you guys coming into the market right now, you're trying to see what system works best for you. And I have been a swing trader, I have been a day trader, and I have been a scalper. And in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing some simple scalping lessons that I have learned in the last 8 years of my trading. And hopefully you can take something out of this video that will make your trading curve a lot smoother and easier, at least more than what it was for me. Let's waste no time. Let's jump right into the video. Before I dive into some of the simple scalping lessons that can help you become a better scalper, the very first thing we got to ask ourselves is, what is scalping? Scalping essentially involves, trading a currency pair with only a brief holding time. So if you're getting involved in the currency pair, you're buying or selling a currency pair, you're looking to take advantage of the short-term price movement. If you're trading a pair like Euro USD, for example, you're going in on the 1 minute or in the 5 minute, and you're just simply looking to get in on the short-term price movement. You're essentially in and out. As a scalper, you're gonna be holding a trade for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even maybe an hour or so, depending on how long, or maybe 2 hours or so, right? But that's scalping is generally in and out. It's quick. 2 hours would be a little bit longer. As a scalper, you're also risking a lot less of your capital because you're going for short-term price movement. And the best part too is you're trading on the lower time frame, which also allows you to minimize your risk. With position sizing and leverage, you can increase what you are putting in the trade. So you can also make a lot of money within, a very short amount of time as well. So let's dive into some of the scalping lessons that I have learned in my journey. The very first scalping lesson is you always want to maintain higher time frame perspective. A lot of traders who come to the market and they start scalping think that you want to spend most of your time on the 1 minute or on the 5 minute, and that's just simply your entire trading zone or your entire trading plan. From one of the things that I learned from scalping is that maintaining higher time frame perspective is extremely important, like the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame, and you essentially scale down. It allows you to also see the small changes that are happening on the small time frame before things start to shift on the larger time frame. So a lot of the time I will go on the 1 minute to do my execution after paying attention to the daily time frame or even the 1-hour time frame. But a lot of my bias, in terms of where price is going to be going, doesn't come from the 1 minute. It doesn't come from the 5 minute. It comes from the daily time frame. It comes from the 4-hour, and it comes from the 1-hour. So it's extremely important as a scalper to maintain higher time frame perspective. Going over to another lesson that I learned that made scalping for me extremely easy and profitable is focusing on one pair, only scalping one pair that is very liquid. And the reason why is because scalping for a lot of traders can be very difficult psychologically. The reason why is it feeds into your desire to want to overtrade. And as a new trader coming to the market, if you're scalping, you need a lot of discipline. And unfortunately, as a new trader, it takes some time to develop that level of discipline that's going to stop you from taking advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way and constantly putting your capital at risk. So one of the things that I realized as I was learning how to scalp and how to scalp profitably is that less is more. The less trades that I got into, the better, right? And I focused only on taking advantage of, highly profitable opportunities, right? Opportunities that to me, I deemed, were worth taking. But if you're scalping a lot of currency pairs, if maybe you show up in the market and there's one of the conditions not favorable, you might find another pair, with more favorable conditions, and maybe you take losses on that pair, you jump onto another one, and so on and so on, right? So for me, I believe in, even as a scalper, to still limit yourself to specific amounts of trades. I believe that less is more. And if you can focus on one pair, right, maybe you take 2 to 3 trades, 4 trades for the day, and that's it, right? But if you open yourself up to, 10 currency pairs, you might be taking, 20 trades a day. And guess what that's doing for your account? Probably not much, because you're constantly putting your equity at risk. And as a trader, capital preservation is always my number one thing. Protect your capital. When it comes to scalping, another important lesson that I learned is you want to trade liquid pairs. When I first started scalping, I was scalping, pairs like, USD Mexican pesos. Crazy. I didn't understand. These pairs were volatile and these pairs were also dead at the same time. So they had days where they would move and days where they didn't move really well. So I was really trading exotic pairs. Now I trade, the main pairs. I mainly trade gold. But when I first started diving into scalping, I didn't really understand that it's important to trade pairs that were active, that were very liquid. And if you're scalping a currency pair, for example, you want to make sure that you're scalping it at the time where there's a lot of transactions coming in for that currency pair. If you're scalping, let's say an example, US currency pair, right? Any US currency pair with something else, you know that the New York session is ideally when you're going to see the most liquidity flow into that pair, because as a scalper, you're taking advantage of short-term price movements, right? So if you're scalping a pair that is supposed to be moving extremely well on the New York session, but you're scalping it during the Asian session, you might be holding your trade for a lot longer because it's taking a lot longer for price to hit its objective. The next tip is to focus on good risk to reward ratio. As a scalper, you're taking advantage of short-term price movement, right? You're taking the trade maybe for 10, 20 pips, right? And you're looking to take advantage of smaller price movements. So it's easy for a lot of traders to say, I'm going to risk 10 pips to make 10 pips, or 20 pips to make 20 pips. My thing is to understand that trading is a probability-based craft, which means that you're not going to win every single trade that you take. You might lose more than you win as a trader, depending on your trading strategy. So it's always important, even as a scalper, to make sure, whatever you're risking, your reward is a lot more. So if you're risking, $30, you're looking to make $60 or $90, right? That would be a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So because I know that there are some scalping strategies out there that say, hey, you're, scalping $10 to make 10 pips, or 15 pips to make 15 pips, and it might work for a time being, but it simply doesn't follow the trading rule that is so important, which is we're in a probability-based craft. At any point in time, your strategy can have drawdowns or whatever the case might be. So it's extremely important that when you are scalping, you are making more money than you are losing. When you have a winning trade, your winning trade has the ability to cover, 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 losers, right? Because that's how it works, right? So I always recommend that. And I always say it's better to implement that in all your strategies, not just swing trading, also in scalping as well. The very last tip that I'm going to be leaving you with is a psychological tip. Scalping is not for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It is extremely fast paced. And if you are going to be a scalper or learn how to scalp or just scalp in general, there are 3 psychological tips that you need to always keep in mind. 1, maintain your composure. Like I said before, scalping is fast paced. You need to be calm and relax. What are some ways that you can maintain your composure? I always recommend starting your trading day with meditation. The guys that I work with on my one-on-one sessions, this is big. We do accountability sessions where, hey, making sure you're meditating. Did you meditate, right? Because you're starting your trading day, with meditation. When I worked with my trading psychologist, Randy, that's all we focused on, meditation. I did hours and hours of meditation to make sure that when I showed up on the chart, I was ready, I was calm, and I was relaxed, and I was in a good state of mind to make healthy decisions to take my capital where I wanted to take it. The next thing is use a biofeedback device. I use a heart rate monitor, and a heart rate monitor essentially just gives you feedback on where you currently are in your trading. In a trading day, if you're scalping and your heart rate is steadily increasing, you want to focus on your breathing, which is number 3, right? That will lower your heart rate so you can continue to maintain that calm, composed, self that is going to make you a lot of profit. So these are my tips with, when it comes to scalping. If you want to learn more on the psychological aspect, I have a psychology playlist as well on the channel that you can find easily. If you click the playlist button, it will bring you to, the psychological aspect. So you can learn a lot more about all these concepts in detail. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. These are some of the lessons that I have learned in my own trading journey and how I was learning to be a scalper. And if there's one thing that you can take away from this that can help you in your trading, I am extremely grateful and happy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as always, I'll be seeing you on the next video. Hope you're out there living free. Peace.